should have like vision over everything, right?
Yes.
So
Timber Forge. Nice.
yeah. So again, this is, I guess, like the Bastion of Malta. There's like a couple hundred people who live here. There's the pier in the north, which connects to the sea, whose name I don't remember off the top of my head. I can pull the map up over here. The shoot, I need to control click. It's on the Azure Sea. So there's 3 fishing ships, usually in dock. They're 20 to 30 feet long. They're able to go out, but they're not really blue water capable. Small Road District is the small road which now connects over to the east, where the bugbears kind of rule under Gothmog.
Yeah.
So that road kind of connects that way. There's a road that goes out to the west, but it's long since been abandoned. And so no one really knows like where it went. So that road just technically exists. There's some farms out there, but for the most part, to the west, a couple squares is the sea. Here, I'm gonna, or you should have like the screenshot of the area to the right.
Yeah, I've still got it around on my Discord, you mean?
Yeah, I can send it to you again if you need it. So Timber Forge, as like the name kind of is, that little area down in the bottom right is where they burn wood in order to do the kind of metalsmithing. There are some hills down to the south where there were once active mines, but there's not a lot of commerce coming in or out more recently. Generally some dwarves live in those hills. But the kingdom, I guess, that you originally traded with was far down south past the Cardi River. And so that's to the south of those mountains. But it's been maybe a decade since people have kind of gone down. You know that generally there is a kingdom there. They generally came to sell like silks, and the merchants would pick up metal from the dwarfs or traverse with them. They would tell stories of like swamps and abandoned ruins and things kind of in the way, but they just really haven't made their way down. The big area down there, I guess, would be like Bene Castle, which kind of like rules the countryside on the south of the island.
Okay. Cool.
So to the north, there's a chain of islands that kind of connect the Azure Sea to whatever continent is above, but no one really lives there. And there's like pretty much as soon as you hit the mainland, once you get away from like the swampy coastline, it's basically a giant desert. And so no one really goes over there. The sea to the east is it's pretty deep. They haven't explored very far, and there have been attacks on the boats that have gone out there. I guess generically like Viking type stuff.
Like other men.
Yeah, other men.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And what's really interesting is even though you guys are kind of near the equator, so the sea, when you go to the west, not too far, it's just jammed with like a massive ice jam.
Okay.
About, I would say, like 40 miles. And so that ice jam spans the entire width of the sea. Let me take like a screenshot of this side of this to you as well, since I didn't send that. So let me.
Cool.
Oh, let me delete some stuff. And so.
Just deleting all the juicy bits.
Yeah, deleting all the juicy bits. So it's stuff that like your people wouldn't really know much about. So there's that, and then let me come over to where you are so I can line that up. So the problem is like you're basically on the side of the map, so it doesn't do wraparounds very well. So this is
you posting this in Discord?
Yeah, I'll send it in Discord.
Okay, cool.
Once I do that. So this is basically the known world to kind of you guys. or at least what the maps kind of reconstruct. So let's that. All right, I know this doesn't align perfectly, but this is about the known world.
Okay.
So that tower over there is basically where the bugbears kind of operate out of, and they've kind of isolated you from most people.
Yeah. Is this little town just the left of the T in the Bastion of Malta? Is that our town, or is that?
No, that's the tower of.
Oh, that's the tower.
So, yeah,
And is our town the bigger one, the bigger symbol?
Yep, yeah, the one that looks like a castle, right? So that area is like kind of like ruins. It's like an abandoned tower, so to speak, right? Whereas you guys have like a whole kind of walled-in city.
Yeah.
Made out of stone quite some time ago. It's obviously in a little bit of disrepair, given that you don't have the same access to the materials and conditions have been kind of tough.
But it's still relatively well defended, and it's a little bit more.
Yeah, the walls are like 15 feet tall. The gates are wooden. It's probably you could have like one man like abreast at the top, like maybe one shuffling by, but in terms of like combat, just like
one man deep.
One person kind of on a square.
And how many fighting men do we have in the village?
People who could bear arms are probably like 70, I would say, out of like the 200-ish are of age. So like I guess 15 or older can fight to some degree. And given that you guys are kind of out in the frontier, most of them know how to use weapons to hunt. So generally like deer or buffalo from the plains down to the south, and then fishing. I would say there's maybe 10 or 20 like first level fighters. There was the captain of the guard, who was probably a 5th level fighter, who is now dead.
Yeah.
And then there is a cleric of Joaquin. So the central building in town is kind of, or was a temple to Joaquin, that's now kind of been abandoned, I guess, with all the traders. So generally, they were the wealthier ones. They were the one who commissioned it. And given that they're not coming up anymore and times have fallen tough, well, people have kind of abandoned the faith.
Okay. So we're losing our religion. We're kind of isolated. Our food supply is running short. We're being taxed by these bugbears. And the sheriff has just died.
Yeah. So this is what we talked a little bit about. Haven't.
Yeah. Well, I wrote it down a little bit. If you'd like me to read it out.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so feel free to jump in if something like this if part of it doesn't exactly line up with what you had in mind, okay? Okay, so Neolak, that's my character, is the local wizard in a small village, currently under the dominion of a local bugbear king, ruling from a tower to the west. Neolak works with the guards and the town sheriff to deal with problems in and about the town. Recently, he went exploring with the town sheriff looking for missing children. Out on their adventure, they ran across a small cave where it seemed the children had been taken. However, they were set upon by well-organized monsters. Neolak and the sheriff fought a desperate battle for their lives. Once the dust was settled, the sheriff was mortally wounded, and the monsters driven off or killed.
Neolak, so those monsters, these, it was probably a group of 4. They looked like feral hyenas standing on like 2 legs, though. They had crude instruments, and they were just like soaked in blood. Just like from like a mane, like all the way down, like just mottled blood everywhere.
And were we able to kill them, or did we just drive them away?
You probably killed like a couple, and then they just like went back to regroup, right?
Okay. So once the monsters were driven off or killed, Neolak ventures deeper into the cave to find a lair of some sort. I'm ad-libbing here. Strange symbols made from bones, the aftermath of some dark experiments, and tucked away in a hidden corner a cache of books filled with necromantic spells and rituals. Neolak was unable to save the life of the sheriff and unable to carry his body alone back to the town, so he hid the books and made his way back to the town. And as far as I understand it, things in the town are reaching a breaking point. The harvest festival is approaching, and the taxes owed to the bugbear king will leave the town short of food. Monster attacks in the surrounding areas are becoming more frequent, and with the sheriff dead, the defenses of the town remain unorganized and under-equipped to deal with the various threats.
Yeah, so we can add a little bit onto that. So generally, the bulk of the food that you get is like, I mean, bugbears, they like meat, right? So you do a lot of hunting, like down and out in the plains.
Hmm.
And so, but for whatever reason, the usually plentiful game have been getting like scarcer and scarcer. And that's like one of the bigger problems, right? If you're generally feeding them, well, deer, well, and you can't hunt your deer, can't hunt the oxen because there's nothing there. Well, that's going to make things harder. And then on top of it, the rains have kind of molded some of the wheat that you guys would be doing. Fishing has come in as normal, but again, with just 3 boats and so many men, there's only so much food that you can get. Uh, and then in general, the bugbears and they're like little goblins that come around every now and again.
Mm.
They seem to be on edge every time they're like near town or near you. They've been harassing a lot of the hunting parties coming in and out, and just like generally being less agreeable than usual. So
Okay. So are we coming in right after I return to the town from the finding the books, or are we passing a little bit of time and coming in a week or two later?
we could do it wherever. It might make sense to have you coming back into town.
Yeah.
Let me get notes up for this. Okay, and then I just have one more scene that I want to upload and get ready for you to look at.
Okay.
It shouldn't matter too much about making sure the maps and the vision and everything are good to go. But yeah, do you have any other questions? Like people in the town, things like that?
Yeah, so aside from me and the sheriff or the captain of the guard, who are the other leaders in the town? Is there a mayor? Is there
Yeah,
an
so there's a
administrator of some
mayor.
sort? Okay.
Yeah, so there's like a mayor, but for the most part, the mayor is kind of in name only, uh, especially given like the situation. So normally the mayor would be in charge of running the town, but it's mostly fallen onto the captain, since everything has more or less been like life under occupation
Yeah.
versus like the normal everyday life of the town. There is a cleric of Joaquin. I haven't named any of these people, so
Okay,
if you
well,
guys
like,
want to do like
yeah, well,
subs or
we need a
bits or
name for the
whatever.
mayor.
Yep, yeah. So I was gonna say we can do subs for the names, or I can just go generate them right now. Um,
Yeah, well, if any subs want to name the mayor, feel free to put it in chat. Meat sauce. We're not calling the mayor meat sauce.
yeah,
We call him Vince, though. Okay.
Vince. Okay,
Yeah.
so Mayor Vince. All right, uh, and then
He's the
the
cleric.
cleric of Joaquin, who's
Remind.
kind
So
of
tell me about this god Joaquin.
so Joaquin is the god of trade and luck.
Okay.
So kind of we can say illicit trade as well, right? Everything related to like free trade, avoiding tariffs, things like that, and kind of using wealth to improve civilization. So she's generally neutral. She's, the patron saint of like caravan guides, like warehouse owners, like deal makers, anybody who, does business. Good thing to have her on her side, right?
All right. Let's call her Mildred.
Mildred. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and so since the town has fallen on hard times and bad luck recently, is that perhaps why the town has become less religious? People feel like maybe
Yeah,
Joaquin has
well, so the
abandoned
trade
us.
caravans that would normally bring like trade goods like and luxuries from like the city, so like finer silks and things like that, haven't been coming in. And so generally your town is like less rich, but like having a trade route connected allows you to get like some of the nicer things in life.
Mm.
And so the hope was that, by creating the temple, well, you can bring in more traders, right? And potentially somebody to open up like the sea routes. I mean, there's got to be other civilizations in the world, and given that there's at least like raiders out there, well, why would there be raiders if there weren't
Or the
merchant vessels?
civilizations, yeah. Oh,
Yep.
or the merchants, okay. But it feels like with the Harvest Festival approaching and food becoming critical, there isn't
So yeah,
really
so right
much
now,
room to worry about anything other than the food and the bugbears right now.
no. So again, there's more than enough food for yourself to survive through the winter, and there's extra. But given like the taxes that are being
Mm.
requested by the bugbears, there wouldn't be enough. It would definitely be a hard winter
Yeah.
for you guys.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so yeah, I propose we come in as I'm getting back to the town, wounded, with these books in tow, hidden away, to tell the bad news that. Oh, what was the name of the sheriff?
The name of the sheriff. Well, do we have any subs?
Let's see, guys. Anyone in here? Not gonna. Charles Thrain. Let's go with Thrain.
Thrain. Okay.
Thrain. Thrain. Okay. He's dead, so it probably won't come up that often. But you know.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna save all this in my file, and we will be good to go. So.
All right. So.
So to set the scene, it's
Yeah.
probably closer to dusk. It's fall evening, nice breeze coming off of the ocean. I mean, you're a little bit battered and bruised after your fights with those creatures. They had strange spears, looked significantly more wicked than usual, but they also attacked with like claw and bite. Um, the sun kind of setting to the west. You can see the town guard kind of coming onto watch for the night. The weather's pretty warm for the evening, but really you're just glad not to be rained on like you have been for the past couple days.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like it's a pleasant evening, although the circumstances of my arrival are not quite so pleasant. Feeling a little bit paranoid carrying these books, and I've got some bad news to tell the town, so I will walk confidently but trudgingly across the road towards the gate of the town, and as I get close enough to hail the guard on the door, I will shout, "Hail! It's Neolak, open the gates!"
Oh, Neolok, welcome back. Where's Thrain?
I shake my head. Perhaps we should talk inside.
Oh God, what happened?
Come,
Open
come.
the gates.
Come on. Perhaps gather Vince and Mildred. I'll meet you all in the tavern and tell of the news.
All right, Johnny, I'm gonna need you to go get the others. Let's gather there.
Okay. Where in?
As you
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So you guys, I think you're going to be coming in like the
Yeah.
east gate, more or less. Can turn on this scene for you. Yeah, as you can come in, like in the center of town, you can see that they're getting ready for the Harvest Festival, right? So there's banners, signs of just good faith. You can kind of smell food being prepared, kind of the kind of like a harvest festival getting ready to go in the morning.
Is it like a big celebration, or is it more just we're gathering all the
Well, it's
harvest?
generally like a big celebration, right?
Yeah.
But
Not
knowing
this
what
year.
you do, it seems like a little bit more muted than usual.
Okay, so on the way to the tavern, I don't know how the town is laid out, but I would like to maybe slip into my house on the way there and drop off these
Yeah,
books.
sure. We can choose a house for you, so you can kind of mark things. So on the left-hand side, you should have like a drawing tool, and looks like a little
Pencil?
pen or pencil. Yeah, and then you should be able to like draw and mark whatever you want. So we can
Okay,
like
I'll take this house
start
down
labeling
here.
things, right? Okay, cool. So this is the temple.
I
can just
can't
temple.
move my character. Don't know if the reason for that.
I don't know. Here, just I'll delete them and drag them back.
Oh wait,
out.
there we go. No, I've got it. So I head to my house and I want to find, like, worst case scenario, I'll hide them under the bed, but hopefully there's like a little hidden floorboard that I can pull up and like stash these books under or something like that.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, you pull up like one of the wooden floorboards. I'm sure like you save your valuables underneath here is too. Whatever like little gold you've been able to hoard, mementos of the past, and you stick them in.
Yeah, perfect. So I'll put the books. I'll head to like a window or something, like try and catch a reflection of myself and like fix my hair, like push it back and straighten my jacket, wipe off some mud, and then like step back out and hurriedly walk towards the tavern.
Yeah, certainly. You take a little bit to straighten yourself up, but not enough to leave people waiting. The runners go through town, and shortly thereafter, you are joined in the tavern. So I'm just going to make this your vision, the entire tavern. You should be able to see everything, and I don't have NPCs to drag out and interact with you. But,
sure. But we sit down on this table here.
Yeah. Sure. You should be able to see everything now, besides like the room where I put walls up. So,
Yep, I can see. So, am I joined by Vince and Mildred? Anyone else? Any of the other town guard gather around? I assume that maybe they want to know what happened to.
yeah. So Vince and Mildred come along with 3 or 4 other more senior men. Uh, but before coming, they all stop and grab a drink at the bar. Heavy lager.
Yeah.
Bring one over for you as well.
That's kind of them. I take it and thank the guy who's brought
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I need this.
Yeah,
Take a
you
long
can kind of
drink.
tell that some of them are like pretty shaken up, not quite crying, but beloved Vince is almost certainly dead, and they know it.
Yeah. So once everyone's settled down, everyone's got a drink, I'll sort of start shake my head and say, we left the town following the tracks that we thought the things that had taken the children, and they led a few hours out of town to a small set of ruins. We started searching around, we found some bones, figured this would be the place, at least where we could get confirmation of what happened. But as we were searching, I heard some shuffling behind us. Thrain heard it too. He turned around, drew his sword, and we were set upon by beasts, maybe gnolls. It's hard to say. They were covered in blood, large, with crude weapons. Unusual. They looked different to things I'd seen before. They weren't weak. They weren't incredibly strong either, but there were more of them than us. And we won the battle, killing a few, driving them off. But unfortunately, Thrain, he was run through, wounded badly. I'm no healer. There was nothing I could do for him. I'm sorry, I couldn't bring his body back here. He's too heavy in his armor. Maybe one of you, I say, looking around the table, maybe you could accompany me back there. Maybe we can gather his corpse.
So I put a picture for you in chat. Sorry, Vince is the mayor. Vince
sorry.
That would be for the best. May the gods watch over his soul. These creatures. So I guess like as an out of character thing, I'm not sure if your character's ever seen like what a gnoll is, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we've seen them around or know of them. I don't know. If not, that's fine.
I don't think they would be common to this area of the world.
Okay.
So like, you've probably seen like hyenas out in the plains or something like that, but like not like.
Sure. Okay. So I'll going back on that. Then I say that.
Yeah, that's fine.
They had canine-like features, hunched back, and still stood tall, maybe 7 feet, 6 feet at least, while hunched, using crude spears. They reminded me of hyenas, but I've not seen anything like them before. Yeah. Some other form of humanoid monster like those blasted bugbears.
Do you think they're working with them? Or could it be that they're just bringing whatever monstrosities in with them? Do you think we're going to make it out?
Make it out?
I thought Thrain had a plan. I thought it was going to be a few years, get the men ready.
We still have men. We can still get ready to fight them off, but alas, we've lost our strongest sword arm. Doesn't mean we have to give up.
And at the Harvest Festival too, what's going to happen to the town spirit? I didn't have the heart to tell them beforehand what this winter's going to look like.
Shake my head. I don't know the exact specifics of the food store, but I don't think it's going to be good.
Harvest is down 60% from last year, and you know how the hunters have done. Maybe a dozen deer and buffalo all season. That's hardly a week's haul during the good times. Fishing's been all right, but with one of the vessels damaged from the raiders, there's no way we're going to be able to feed them and us.
Nod solemnly. The food we do have, once we've paid our taxes, how long do you think we could last? How long do we have to find a new source of food?
About a month and a half, maybe 2 if we go to half rations. I don't know. I don't know. The one little beacon of hope, though, is for whatever reason, there's less food demanded this year. I'm a little bit confused about it myself.
From the bugbears?
Usually it's been increased year over year more and more, but this time, It's down about 15%,
Maybe they've lost numbers.
maybe. You think that's why they've been acting strange?
Perhaps they're fighting a war against maybe these hyena creatures or something else.
Mhm. Well, if there is, then they're losing, for sure.
Yeah.
We've I mean, so the first creatures that we've really seen anywhere near us. I mean, we haven't had not even any of the caravans have made it through for 2 years.
Something needs to be done. Is now the time. Like you said, Brain had a plan, and it didn't involve fighting back this year, but without enough food.
Well, if we can't fight back, then we're going to need to find food because we're going to see a lot of death in the winter, and I don't think we can handle that.
These creatures that I encountered, perhaps they've got food.
Perhaps yes, but do you know anything about the numbers?
Shake my head, no. But, well, I could find my way back there. I could maybe track where the ones that fled went. I could see if I could spy on them, see what's there. At least it's dangerous, but if we're heading back there to gather Thrain's body anyway, maybe it would be wise.
I think that would be wise indeed. Curious though. You said hyenas standing
Yeah.
on two legs.
Hunched over. They were tall. I think if they stood up straight, maybe 7 or 8 feet. They didn't look particularly well fed though, and they looked a little bit scrawny. But who knows? Maybe that's just what they look like.
Mm, you, yeah. Are they smart at all? You think they're being? Do you think they're under the bugbears as well?
They might be. Hang on, let me get this guy's name right. Gothmok is, well, he's powerful at least. He commands dominion over us. There's no reason why he wouldn't be able to do it to these creatures unless they're the ones they're fighting the war against. But maybe they're enslaved as well. Maybe they're fighting the war against them, or maybe they've yet to run into the bugbears. Maybe the bugbears don't have the strength to dominate them. But unless we're stealing food from someone else, we better pray to the gods that the hunting gets better or the fishing gets better, because I don't see what other option we've got.
I'm afraid of that.
Odd. Listen, we've got a month and a half. It's time. People aren't gonna start suffering just yet. Why don't we? I look around the room of the tavern. I mean, like, we're having this discussion between the senior members of the town, but if this, I assume, is the only tavern in town, there must be other people here.
Yeah, but for the most part, it seems like the tavern's pretty much empty. Everyone seems to be at home preparing for like the festival tomorrow. So they're like baking and crafting and everything. There may be a couple people coming in and out, but for the most part, it's pretty empty as people are, not here for the night.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'll lower my voice a little bit and lean in towards the group and say, we don't want to sour morale just yet. Whilst there's still hope that we could find a solution, we should try and keep this between us. We don't want the townspeople panicking. It's only going to make things worse.
I agree, which is why I don't think you should miss the festival tomorrow then either.
What time does it
We'll
start?
say that Thrain is still out there, and you're just sending back for more men while he investigates. I mean, Thrain's a seasoned man, and even our lowliest hunters can survive a few nights out in the wilderness.
Okay, wise. Let's give it a few days then. We'll deal with the Harvest Festival. We'll keep an eye on the bugbears when they get here and see what happens. I'll recover from my wounds, and once the festival's over and the taxes are paid and the bugbear's eyes are away from us, I look to the group, I look to the strong men and say, I'll take one of you with me and we'll head out there and go and gather him.
He nods in appreciation and says, well, we've got 2 weeks till the bugbear shows up. How far out and back is it? Or you just want to wait until that?
Wait, so the bugbear's not coming on the day of the Harvest
Festival?
The
Harvest Festival is now. The bugbears will be here in about 2 weeks.
Okay, so let's do the Harvest Festival first, and then I'll recover my wounds, and I'll look towards the cleric and say, I don't know if you have any magics to help me, but otherwise, I imagine it'll take me a few days.
Of course. Joaquin is always keen to help those who are going to open up the trade routes. So she should be a 4th level cleric. I'm not sure how much healing she should have, but I assume it should be plenty over the next 2 weeks to heal you up.
Easily. It's Cure Light Wounds is D8 plus 1. That's a level 1 spell, and she's probably got like 4 or 5 of those a day.
Yeah, so it should be fine. May only have 1 or 2 of these available today, but by the end of tomorrow, I think it should be more than enough.
Okay. So I will not getting the healing tonight, I suppose. Maybe it's just they get the healing tomorrow or something. I'll drink my drink and say, oh well, it's been a long day on the road, and you can imagine the events have left me quite exhausted. I would like to retire to my dwelling if you could spare the company, and perhaps we can catch up tomorrow before the festival.
That's he kind of like wipes away kind of like a tear and says, "I and let me make some preparations for the funeral."
Okay. I'll stand up and walk around the other side of the table to Vince. I'll put a hand on his shoulder and I'll look at him for a moment and I'll say, "It's gonna be okay, Vince. We'll find a way through this."
You're a good man, Neolock. There's a reason why Thrain took a liking to you. I guess he knew that he wasn't going to be the only one around. And no offense to you jarheads, but I think he wanted someone with vision for the future.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll walk away from Vince and I'll take one last look at the cleric and give her a smile, and then I'll look towards the 4 other men and give them like a curt nod, and then walk out of the tavern.
They give you a nod. A couple of them drain their glass and follow you out. Another couple head back to the bar, planning on drowning their sorrows tonight.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I will not hurriedly, but once I leave the tavern, I'll pick up a pace and start walking back to my house, excited to explore what I found, feeling some guilt at feeling more excitement than sorrow at the events of the day.
Oh yeah, certainly.
So thematically, when I picked my level 2 spells, I've chosen all necromancy level 2 spells.
Yeah, that's fine. I assume that's what's going to be in those books, right?
Yeah. So I think maybe since I've only just got back today, that's what I'm planning over the next couple of days to like learn these spells. Yeah. Because I think by the book you just get them when you level up, but I think it makes more sense to he's gonna squirrel himself away in his house over the next few days and jot these spells down. So that night, rather than going to bed, he'll sit at a desk with a lantern, pour himself some whiskey or whatever liquor he's got tucked away, and read these books by lantern light through the night.
Yeah, so there is a little quote that I want to grab out of it. I just can't remember where I saved this. Well, I had like a little prayer to the god in the book.
To which god? Like the god of the undead or something?
Yeah.
Nice.
Actually. I know I have the physical book. Hold on, let me go grab that.
Yeah, sure, no worries. What spells to have for the tomorrow? Instead.
Okay, so I'm going to put a little image. So As you open up like the book on the inside, the first page has a drawing of what it appears to be a goat-headed man with
Oh, shit.
wings of like skeletal wings. It's kind of faded and pressed away.
Okay.
Um, and the language itself doesn't it's you've never seen any language write it. The script doesn't seem to be anything, but as you kind of flip through the book, some of the words kind of rearrange themselves into patterns that you understand. The runes and the spellcasting gestures, the page rearranges itself into spells of some power. uh, and a single
Fantastic.
quote pops into your mind. I will
Okay.
be the last creature when I am done. The cosmos will then be perfect, free of the braying abominations that are above, or that are all other living things.
I want to write this down. So I will be the last creature when I am done. The cosmos.
Will then be perfect, free of the braying abominations that are all other living things.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So I think he is starting to get an idea of what this. I think maybe he'd already glanced at this image and seen this quote when he flicked through it in the ruins before stowing it away and getting back here. So he's got an idea of what's in this book, and reaching for his drink and taking a long sip and pouring another glass, he keeps turning through the pages, quickly realizing that this is both a combination of sort of lore and also spells.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible for you to decipher at this point. You could certainly start trying to learn the language, but it's not like anything of any of the races. The script is itself, from the best way to describe it, it's like essentially runes.
Yeah. But I feel that with a read magic spell, I could decipher the spells at least to try and learn them.
Yes, for sure.
Perfect. All right. Well, I probably haven't got one prepared today. So what I will do is I will see if I can read through the book and get an idea of the various spells that are in here, try and work out which ones might be within my understanding, and try and make a list of the few that I'm going to learn over the next few days.
Yeah, sure.
So once I've got the hours pass, right? The sun sets and starts to rise in the distance by the time he finishes his whiskey, and the pages are blurring. Not sure whether it's because he's drunk or because they're still moving around magically, but reluctantly slams shut the book. Dust, moves about as the pages close, and he stumbles back to his bed to dream of all sorts of horrific things.
Yeah, as you go to sleep, the liquor swimming in your mind, you see the figure come to life, almost in your visions. You see him leading a horde of the undead against your enemies. Actually,
My enemies.
oh yeah, your enemies.
Okay.
Yeah, you see the tower, what stands of it burning. You see Gothmug's head on a pike.
Cool. Okay, so the Harvest Festival is today. I will, when I wake up, I wipe the sleep from my eye and slowly start to reconcile the dreams that I've had that night, which were quite disturbing. Spark of hope fills me deep in the pit of my stomach at the thought of it. And I'll get up from my bed and head over to the window and look out to the square of the town to see how far in the day it is and see how much time I've got before the Harvest Festival starts.
Oh, the Harvest Festival's already started. It's probably 10. You did sleep in a little bit, but not too much.
Okay.
As you come out, you can see that they're getting
wait. Sorry,
ready.
I've got to learn spells first.
I'm sorry.
So I sit down for... I haven't got any level 2 spells yet. So what I will do is I'll just learn Read Magic twice. And I guess... check. Probably just... yeah, Magic. Color Spray. Type that into Foundry just so we've... Okay, so that takes me 30 minutes. I learn those spells, and then, yeah, I close my spell books. I stow the necromancy book back beneath the floorboards. I make sure I look respectable, splash some water on my face from a bucket, and head out into the streets to the Harvest Festival.
I'm going to upload the festival map real quick. Obviously, it doesn't quite perfectly fit in with the town, but that should be fine. And activate. Yeah, so you make your way. You can kind of see. Let me drag you out so you can actually see.
I've got it.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. So what we've gotten in number 3 is kind of like a number of people with kind of like food stalls over around the town well in the center. For 2, we've got pig jousting going on later. So there's signups if you would like to be
a pig jouster.
Yeah, you've got wooden lances and the fattest hogs the town has to offer. You can take your pick of any of them and you kind of joust. It should be fun. Lots of mud coats kind of the floor there. Over in 6, that is where the pie eating festival will occur soon.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, and then at 5, there's you can get your fortune read.
Interesting. Okay, so I look around the town square for Vince, the mayor. I see him.
Yeah, you see Vince beaming in the center of town. He's got the sign-ups, a sheet of parchment, and there's like a quill marking down, taking down sign-ups for the pig jousting. Top prize this year is going to be 5 gold. So
wow.
Get in while you can.
Oh, 5 gold. I will look over my shoulder at tent number 6, where the pie eating contest is about to begin, and slowly walk over to Vince, past the queue of people waiting to sign up, and I'll whisper in his ear, Vince, can I have a word with you for a moment? In private?
He smiles and waves over. Oh, come on, James. James, hold on. Neil Locke and I have something to discuss. But ladies and gentlemen, sign up. Sign up. Pig jousting. Be the winner of the festival. 5 gold to the winner. And he'll walk with you, take you aside, and go around the corner.
Yeah, after he says that, I'll point to like a child in the line, and I'll wink at him and say, I think you've got a real good shot this year. And then I'll turn around and walk with
Kid
Vince.
Smiles and blushes and
around a corner, and I say, I know we're trying to keep up appearances here, Vince, but do you really think a pie eating contest at a time like this is wise?
Well, I mean, it's that or tell him. And besides, he like looks around. It's fish. It was gone bad anyways. Not enough salt.
Okay. All right. Well, just as long as you're considering these things, I just wanted to make sure. But you should probably get back to the line.
Yeah, he's gonna look to you and he's gonna say, I understand your concern, but the thing is, this would be the first year we wouldn't have it. I figured we didn't want to tip anyone off, and you were out with Thrain, and I didn't know what to do.
No, I understand.
I just thought.
Just don't let Dave enter.
Yeah, this was so foolish of me.
No, it's fine. Just don't let Dave enter. He had like 20 pies last year.
He smiles and chuckles and says, "All right, I'll see to it. I'll see to it. He's put on watch."
Okay. As he starts to walk away, I'll go, oh, and Vince?
Yes.
You've done a good job here. This looks mighty pleasant and definitely keep the town spirits aloft. Good job.
He smiles weakly and says, yeah, well, all right then. And he like coughs a little bit, straightens up, and heads back and resumes signups for the pig jousting.
Okay, so I guess I will wander around the festival. What did you say? Was it 3?
So there's kind of like a number of stalls with all sorts of like delicacies. You can kind of tell that it's not as much as it has been in the past years, right? A lot of the herbs and spices from out of town have long since been used, and it's people just doing the best with what they have.
Yeah.
So it's mostly baked goods. this year rather than some of the more extravagant uh, outside food that would normally be present.
All right, I will. I'll wander the length of the stalls, and then I'll just like pick sort of one at random and go over and buy one of their goods and tip them a little bit. I mean, I guess if it costs a copper, I'll give them like 3 copper.
Oh, there's no charge for the harvest festival. Um, although, if you do insist,
Yeah.
I guess the temple could use some work. I could put it there.
Whatever you think's best for it, Mary. Just want you to have this, and I'll put the coins in her hand and like close her hand over them.
She takes it and smiles. Thank you so much, Neolok.
I'll take my pasty or whatever it is that I've bought and take a bite of it and go, that's delicious, and look and smile at the other people wandering around, and I'll wander away from this area.
And she says, "Oh, have you seen Thrain? You guys come in last night."
Thrain? Yeah, he's still out of town. He's keeping watch in the ruins that we were exploring while we wait for the festival to get done so we can get more men up there.
Oh, she like looks a little bit crestfallen. I made him something special, but I guess if he's not going to be here, I can make it when he comes back.
I'll be heading out to go and see him again in the next couple of days if you want me to hold on to it.
Oh, yeah, certainly. She reaches down in her stall, and there's like just like a wicker basket with a piece of cloth, or not cloth, but like towel kind of folded over it. It's for him. It's cherry. It's his favorite.
It's mighty kind of you, Mary. I'm sure he'll appreciate this after so many days out in the wilderness.
And she smiles and blushes a little and says, and tell him to take care for me, will you?
Of course, yeah, of course. I will make a hasty retreat from this conversation at this point. And
yeah, sure.
with my back to the gathered crowds, I will peek beneath the cloth.
Yeah, it's like a nice like cherry pie. Seems to, have a little more time put into it even than usual, right? You can tell the layering was like done absolutely perfect.
Yeah, okay. How much does it weigh?
2 pounds, 3 pounds, maybe 5 with the basket.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will sort of walk away from the harvest festival with this basket and head back to my house to keep it safe somewhere in the pantry or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
So I go back into the house. I'll head down into the cellar where the pantry is, and place it there so keep it a bit cooler. Walking up from my cellar, closing the door behind me, I can't help but cast a glance towards the other room where I know the floorboard is and the books are buried.
Yeah.
But
You get a little feel of like,
okay.
The power within, like,
yeah,
but it's the harvest festival. You won't want to miss that.
No, I have to keep up appearances, so I will. I leave the house, closing the door and locking it behind me. And now I'll continue wandering around. What is it for?
Well, it's probably like 12. At 4. So 4 is where they have all the pigs. You can see different individuals trying to scope out which pig they think is going to make the best mount.
Okay.
So
I'll go around. I'll pet some of the pigs. I'll make some comments. Oh, this one looks strong this year. He's growing a lot. I'll just generally be involved, but not spend too much time here. And I'll sort of wander around the back like this. Then come in near the fortune teller here. And what do I see? Is there many people queuing up to visit the fortune teller, or is everyone enthralled by the pigs?
There's a few. Most people, they don't really want to stand in line. They figure they can kind of mosey by and come in. So there's like one person in with the tarot cards, crystal ball made out of imperfect glass. Not exactly the best one, but it's made do.
Yeah. So I will wait my turn. I'll hang around as well, and I'll let other people. When somebody gets up, I'll motion to a person who was there before me, and would you like to go? And I'll wait for my turn.
Yeah, sure. Let me see if I can pull this up. So I had a site that I used for this. Here we go. Why is this not? Oh, because the site's down. Okay, well, that one is no longer relevant.
It's all
Let
right.
me see if I can find another one. All right, so here's one. So Matilda sits you down. The kind of one of the more elderly in the village. She shuffles a deck of tarot cards in front of you. The deck of the deck on the back having the star and the sun. She flips. She shuffles. She takes the first card and flips it over.
Okay.
She looks at it. Says, "This week, your poot knows no bound, so make a pledge to change some small detail of your daily routine, such as which side of the road you walk on, or how well you cook your meat. You'll be amazed at how little things like that can add a little bit of fun to life."
Thank you, Matilda. That's very wise.
She flips the second card. In the void, something mysterious was formed, born from the heaven and the earth.
I sort of nod, waiting for her to carry on.
She flips the third card.
I look around. Are other people watching my reading here, or I kind of...
Oh, yeah, there's someone like behind you. As the card flips over, she eyes it. The thief. You struggled for the past couple days, but things should start to get easier. You're getting more efficient. You're not overwhelmed anymore. Give yourself credit and keep at it.
God. Thank you, Matilda. I think I needed to hear that. It's
Yeah.
most helpful and worth the coin, I'm sure. How much is it I owe you?
Oh, no, it's free. It's the Harvest Festival. Anything we can.
All right. I mean, I will give her a few coppers as well,
Okay.
and nod at
Wait,
the others around
we are
her.
not yet done.
Oh, you
The
have more
fourth
wisdom.
card, the Maiden. Look for answers in two parts. Test your empathy and do not be found wanting. A test for you lies ahead.
I guess
The
I'll...
last one.
Oh, okay. There's one more, yeah.
She'll flip the last card. The Farmer. You're working hard again. You'd rather be playing, and there are a lot of fun things to do. The path to your fantasies and pleasure is blocked. If you can turn a work situation into a game, you'll have more fun while you're doing it. Pretend you have people working for you, doing all your work. Well, at least this makes me feel good. She kind of chuckles. Not sure what they'll let you do, but keep up the hard work. Don't let the stresses get to you, and wonder what happens with that void. And I didn't think I put that in the deck today.
Really?
Oh well, you know how those things are. Sometimes you forget. I try to make it a little bit later for the Harvest Festival.
Sure. Can I take a look at that one? And I'll reach and pick up the void
Sure.
card.
She hands you the card. It's basically a black sun. It is the card itself.
Okay. I guess I'll consider it for a moment before placing it back down on the table and standing up from the table and reaching a hand out to shake her hand.
Oh, she takes it. A pleasure, dearie. And don't let the stresses of life get to you. I know going out in all this must be a little bit stressful, but
it's okay, Matilda. We all have our burdens to bear. And I will lightly stand and walk away. And I guess I'll wander through this tent and observe the pig jousting.
Yeah, sure. So the bracket kind of starts earlier. Most of the guards don't participate, but a couple of the younger ones do. But generally, it's the kids kind of going back and forth. You see one of them, maybe 14 or so, loses control of his pig, gets like thrown into the mud to like raucous laughter, and points are like kind of scored against him. The day kind of goes by as there's a number of passes, a couple broken lances, a couple separated shoulders. But eventually the champion is Turkar, a lad of 16 years old, ambitions of joining the guard, just aged old enough. There was a loud applause. The mayor hands him over the 5 golden coins and the celebratory kind of hat. It's got 2 like giant deer antlers, and he will proudly wear that for the rest of the year as the
Awesome.
winner of the joust.
All right. Well, I will. I'll take my. When he's got a free moment, I'll go over to him and clasp him over the shoulder and shake his hand and say, "Well done, Takara. Fine performance today, and a well-deserved champion."
Hi, I've been practicing. He like kind of looks around. I've been sneaking into the pig stocks, trying to train.
That's clearly paid off. You're a strapping young fellow. I can see a sword and shield on your arm one day, perhaps on the walls.
Soon, I hope. And then I'll fight off the bugbears single-handedly. I'll kill Gothmog myself.
Of course you will. Just what we need. Confidence.
And gives you a nod and says, if you want to practice, we can go to the... I've been practicing with a sword and shield if you want to go.
I'm afraid there is my expertise in combat is not with a sword. Perhaps one of the other guards may prove more worthwhile.
He kind of looks a little bit downfounded, but he says, yeah, okay, that'd be great. And I'll be with you on the guard soon.
You nod. Again, well done. Fine show. And I'll walk away. So we've been to the fortune teller, the pig jousting. So 6 was the pie eating contest. I guess I'll come and take a look at this.
Yeah, sure. You can kind of see that the mayor had like a whole bench kind of taken out from inside. So instead of the 3 tables, there are 2. There's a couple of people arguing that they should be involved in the contest, and it's totally unfair and unreasonable for the mayor to have pulled them out. And the mayor's like, relax. You guys weren't even in the top table last time. There's no possible way that you had any chance at winning. And besides, there's no tables for you to sit at regardless.
I guess I will go over to these 2 people who are upset after the mayor's finished talking to them, and I'll say, sorry, state of affairs here, boys. Just don't have the space that we had usually, but maybe I can buy you a drink, perhaps to ease the pain a little.
One of them nods and says, I could do that, and the other one's just more so like a little bit despondent that he can't compete, but he knows in his heart of hearts that his iron stomach isn't prepared for this.
Yeah. So I guess I will. Is there like an area set up where one can get drinks, or do we have to go?
Oh yeah, down at like towards 7. There's like regular food. There's like plenty. There's like a couple kegs that have been tapped, and throughout the day they've kind of been rolling new ones in and out to kind of keep it fresh. You would guess that like most people are probably like buzzed by now, given it's been a few hours at the festival. But yeah.
All right, I will sit with these guys at a table and have a few drinks. I'll drink slowly. I don't want to get blasted too quickly here. Keep my wits about me. But yeah, I'll drink with them. I'll share stories. I will avoid any conversation about what Thrain. Was it Thrain?
Thrain, yeah.
Yeah, what Thrain and I were up to. If they ask about it, I'll just like casually glance over it, like, oh, we found some clues. There's more to explore though, but I need to come back and gather more men. He's still out there.
Yeah, so I guess Thrain is so what all did you find? You gotta tell us. I mean, we've heard stories from the hunters about not finding game. You find the monster that did it then.
I sort of look around and then lean into the table and say, oh, we found monsters all right, but not really meant to be talking about it just yet.
They give you a knowing look and say, so bigger than a giant?
Not quite as big as a giant, but there were a few of them.
Oh,
nasty things, but I really, Vince will have my head if I talk about it. I really mustn't say much.
Interesting. Well, I'm sure you know best. Thrain, sturdy fellow, should be totally fine out there. I guess if you said there is several of them, makes sense why you guys are coming back, and good on you.
Thank you. Well, we do our best.
Oh, and you see any of those short little stubby barrels, stubby fellows? I really miss their stouts, and it's been a while since we've got a shipment of new tools.
Yeah, alas, I've not seen any of them around these parts. In fact, we've not really had much trade at all over the last couple of years.
Mm,
I blame the bugbears. Gothmog.
I so do we. It's not the same with busted plows. Timberforge does the best she can, but what we really need is new metal.
Not, yeah. But, today is not a day to be wallowing in our sorrows. We should be trying to enjoy ourselves and celebrating the harvest.
Aye, to the harvest. He grabs his pint. And,
To the
holds
harvest.
it up.
Yeah, I'll cheers with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he chinks glasses with you, and he'll finish the other half of his beer before wandering off.
Yeah. Well, I stand up from the table. It's been nice chatting to you, lads, but I should see if Vince needs me to do anything.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I guess I will... It's probably been, what, 3 or 4 hours at this point?
Yeah, it's getting towards like 3 or 4. The pie eating contest is going to kick off around 5, and when that finishes up, it should be right around sunset, and we'll have kind of like the final meal of the festival. Is generally how that runs.
Yeah, okay. Where's Vince? Is he still... the pig jousting is over
So
now.
Vince is kind of like wandering around, meeting with people, talking with them, asking about their kids. The usual thing a mayor would kind of do, kind of socialize with the town.
Yeah, I am between two minds of trying to sneak off and do some research or if to just wander around the festival. I think not being drawn too far into it just yet. I understand the importance of the day, so I'll just wander around. I'll make small talk with various people who are sitting around eating and drinking in the 7 area. I'll go and watch the pie eating contest, and obviously I'll probably have somewhat of a prominent seat at the dinner at the end of the night.
Yeah, certainly.
But I'll try and control my drinking. I don't want to be too drunk because I am planning to.
Yeah, so
do
you
some
just want to
reading.
have like a beer, but you're just going to kind of like nurse it. So it looks like you're there having a good time.
Yeah.
But when you're drinking a beer every 2 or 3 hours,
Yeah, it's not doing
you're
much.
not really going to get,
Yeah, so I'll do that. I'll just waste away the hours of the day enjoying the festival as much as I can, trying to keep my mind off the things that await me inside the house and the events of the last few days with Thrain.
Yeah, so as you're going around, you get pulled aside by one of the members of the guard. So he would probably be about a sergeant, so probably one of the 1st or 2nd level fighters. Just the ballpark, and he pulls you aside and says,
"Wait, sorry, before you carry on, was this one of the guys who was at the tavern last night or not?"
He wouldn't have been at the tavern last night, but he would be about like the sergeant ranking,
Okay.
right? So he would be about the same.
So he
maybe
would
not
probably
a senior, but
he probably knows what's going on.
He might know what's going on.
Okay,
You're
I'm
not
sure.
sure if he's been told or not, but he's like about the same, but he's not as old. So he's in his like mid-20s, whereas the other guys were more veterans, like 30s to 40s.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So Calvin pulls you aside and says, I take it you haven't heard about the screams last night then?
Screams? Callum, lower your voice. What screams?
Patrol going around, checking on the farms at night, said they heard screams in the plains. Wasn't sure what, but it sounded like something was in pain. They investigated, but found nothing besides a whole mess of blood and bones 2 or 3 miles out of town.
The screams of a man?
A man, an animal, something. Said it sounded like bloody murder.
What were the
Screamed
bones?
for a few minutes. Must have been eaten alive, whatever it was.
By the gods. Well, everyone's accounted for, right? No one's missing.
Everyone from the village, anyways, besides Thrain. But, you said he's all right.
Yeah. Interesting. How far out of town?
About 3-4 miles, just a couple miles past the Albrecht's farm.
Did you see it?
Of course not. That was back in town. Brent and Sephiroth, they told me. They came and told me about it.
Do you know where they
are? I'm sure they're out getting drunk at the festival somewhere. I mean, wouldn't you? Aren't you? Any points to your drink?
Of course, yeah, of course. I'm sure they're here somewhere. I've just not seen them today. I would perhaps like to speak to them about this.
Yeah, sure.
But maybe it's a conversation left better for tomorrow.
Maybe indeed.
He nods and say, "Yeah, let's focus on the good today, shall we? I'm sure that there's no imminent danger."
Yeah, he takes his mug that he has with you and raises and says, "To the harvest."
To the harvest, Callum. Yeah, I will drink some more of my drink. Probably getting to the end of this first one now and having to go and get a second, but it should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Carry on. I'll catch up with Vince at some point. Congratulate him on everything's gone well. And yeah, nothing else specific that I want to do right now, if unless something comes up.
Yeah, sure. So I guess there's the whole festival, or I guess the whole eating competition that you can sit there and watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to pick any favorites or try to mess people up or whatever.
No. I'll let it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So let me just roll some dice and see who ends up winning. Yeah, so it goes by 30 or 45 minutes in, and 7 pies in. It's down to the last two. Brayton versus Chin. Chin finishes his 8th pie and then vomits all over the place. Just fish bits and partially chews going everywhere.
Does that disqualify him or?
Oh yeah, he's disqualified.
Oh no.
And Brayton finishes his 8th pie and is declared the victor.
And that's one of the town guards, right? That saw the thing last night.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He raises his hand held high and says, "I could eat a whole nother 2." And he goes to reach for another pie.
Woo! I guess I'll cheer. I think about asking him to stop, but figure that would be weird, so I let him.
Yeah, sure. He grabs another pie, eats it, thinks better of the 10th, and says, "Yeah, save it for tomorrow."
Oh, you've still got the dinner later, Brayton. I shout.
He kind of looks a little bit nauseous at the idea and says, "Of course, yeah, the dinner."
All right. I won't go and talk to Brayton now. I'll just make for the dining area, which is probably being set up. You said, right?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of the tables, it's probably going to be in the open area south of where the pig jousting is. A lot of people coming in and out, moving tables, chairs, getting candles out for the dinner. There's food being brought. Everybody seems to have made a dish for a giant potluck style meal.
Mm-hmm. Okay, everyone's brought their own food.
Well, it's
communal.
each household's kind of brought a dish or a meal, and it's going to be passed around the tables.
Cool.
And, kind of like that. Yeah.
Where am I sitting? Do I sit near Vince?
Yeah. So the head of the table is Vince. The other head is empty. It's where Thrain would have been. I guess we can get a name for the person who's going to be second in command from any of your subs in chat if they want to shout out a name, or if you can make up a name.
Well, I'll give them a minute. Anyone want to name the second guard in command? So I just wrote this down. Largo.
Largo?
Yeah.
All right, Largo. Got it. Yeah, so Largo, who is the first sergeant, directly under Sheriff Thrain.
Mm-hmm.
He takes the other end of the table. You can kind of see that there's an empty spot next to him, and there's an empty spot next to kind of Vince. And the cleric herself hasn't seated herself. Seems to be waiting on you to make your decision about where to sit before she kind of fills.
Sorry, say that again. Sit next to Vince or...
you can sit next to Vince or Lago.
I'll sit next to Vince.
Yeah, so you sit down and she takes her place at the far end of the table, gives you a smile.
Yeah.
The mayor stands up to kind of give a speech and says, "Welcome, welcome everybody to the Harvest Festival. I take it you've all had plenty to drink over the day?" And there's a hearty kind of cheer from the crowd. Yeah. The rains have made the harvest a little bit worse than usual, but it's nothing that we can't handle. And besides, there's more than enough to go around.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. There's a round of clinks and people drinking, and he says, "So, the This year has been long and tough, as have many under the reign of the bugbears. But uh, this winter, we'll be able, we'll be unlike the others. It'll be better. This is our chance to move forward. Uh, we he like stutters for a moment, fumbling over his words, trying to like think of what to say to people.
Mm.
And he says, I, yeah,
I stand up. I stand up. There's plenty to be pleased about here, gentlemen, ladies. The harvest, as Vince has said, is not quite what we expected, but fishing has been good, and the hunting, I'm sure, will return to form, and we can.
He smiles. You can tell that he's like a little bit drunk, kind of fumbles over his words. Says, "Ah, yes, and here's to a healthy winter and to next spring."
To next spring, and I'll stand up next to Vince at this point and raise a glass, put an arm around his shoulder, and take a big drink as everyone presumably cheers and joins in.
Yeah, everyone cheers, joins in. They stand up. They start making merry, and they begin scooping food, passing it around the tables for everyone to kind of take their fill.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I will eat normally. I won't like overindulge or anything like that, and I'll keep an eye on Vince and make sure he's not saying anything to make sure his mood stays good and he's not like spilling any bad news to anyone. You know how you can tell when somebody's drunk and they start to go a bit dark and start complaining about everything. Like if I see him doing that, I will like try and get an arm around him and like move him into a different conversation, cheer him back up a bit.
Yeah. Oh, make a, I guess. So what's the equivalent of like performance check for Tui?
Charisma.
Charisma, yeah, you can just make a charisma check. Like, let's see how your words kind of like resonated. I'm gonna contest it with his bad charisma.
16.
16. So he's going to roll. He is a +4. Yeah, like you can kind of tell that like, he's not really known for being particularly charismatic, great with his words, and but you're able to like win the crowd back over.
Okay,
they seem generally cheerful. They kind of understand that the crop hasn't been as great, but you know what? Life's been a lot worse. Everyone remembers the famine 20 years ago or so.
Okay.
So they're a little bit on edge, but yeah, the village has been through harder times than what he's kind of projected out. So.
Sure, and people tend to trust Vince, right? If Vince says it's going to be okay, people kind of
affable guy. Yeah, for the most part, pretty honest.
Yeah. So I will eat my meals. I'll strike up conversation with the people around me, and then after a couple of hours, when things have stopped, once a few people start to leave, I'll like yawn and make my excuses and head away from the table for the night, back along the dirt road towards my house, leaving these sounds of the festival in the distance.
Oh, for the charisma rolls in Tui, do you add the whole charisma that he has?
Yes. You should do D20 plus the charisma. And I was going to say, it's kind of happened now, but usually you need a 21 to pass the check. So in this case, we both failed the charisma roll.
Right, okay. Yeah, sorry. So yeah. I was thinking proficiency plus what is modifier, so he would have had 14 charisma, and then there's proficiency where you would add 2. So that's the 5e one that I was used to.
Yeah.
So that would have been plus 14, and there's no such thing as proficiency. He either has it or he doesn't.
This is just a charisma check, yeah. So in this case, he rolled a 1, right? So he still definitely fucked it up.
Yeah, well, he would have rolled a 15, which has been like way less than you, yeah. But you can kind of see that there's like a little bit of like unease, a little bit in the more sober members of the crowd who are able to take in more of like the
and they don't buy it, yeah.
Right? Yeah, okay, yeah. So I totally fucked that up. That's just me thinking of 5e, not 2e.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, in a way, it's kind of more simple. You just roll d20 plus the score.
Yeah.
I mean, by the book, you roll d20 and try and get lower than your score, and it's like you have to get lower than your score to pass. But if 2 people pass, the higher number wins, which is a bit dumb. So we just do d20 plus.
I agree entirely. Yep. Yeah. Okay, cool. So wait, but that means if you have like 10 charisma, then you have a 50% chance of passing. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you can set the DC of the checks like higher. So like if you're trying to
Yes.
convince the king, then it's probably not going to be a 20 to like give you as king.
Yeah, maybe
right?
it's 25 or 30 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yep. Just got it. All right.
Cool. But yeah, standard checks, it's you need to be at 20, but for other stuff, obviously you can modify it. But yeah, so we have
Yeah.
this
Cool.
scene of, Neolak walking along the dark path with the lights of the festival and the music fading away into the distance. And the sounds of the night take over, I guess. You can hear the crows chirping and gets mumbling.
Yeah, as you're making your way back to your house, you can see the figures of one of the guards kind of patrolling alone on the wall.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'll leave him to it.
Yeah, all right.
I head to my house.
What's your perception?
We just use wisdom for perception, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make a wisdom check.
Okay.
I think. Let's see what.
26.
26. Yeah. So despite the sounds of the festival, the everything besides the festival is obscenely quiet. Like there's normally like the buzzing of insects, whatever random animals are outside. It's really just the lapping of water and the sounds of the festivals and the plod of, I guess, just leather boots on the wall.
Yeah. Is he the only guy on the wall, or is there like one person on the other side doing the full rounds?
So it's just one person. He's just like pacing back and forth along. I'll move back to the. Oh wait! Oh, I can show you this thing too. So there's also like lighting control, so I can do like this.
Oh, getting dark.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I had. The day's gone relatively successfully. Nothing terrible's happened. Vince hasn't let anything out the bag. I could see that some of the crowd maybe didn't buy our speech and aren't quite believing that everything's going to be fine. Maybe they're the farmers or some people who work in the storehouses and they've got a better idea of what's going on. But I try and not think about it because I'm overwhelmed at the excitement of finally getting back to my house to read these books. And it's a strange feeling because usually the Harvest Festival is one of the most exciting days of the year. But today all I could think about was getting away from it, getting back to my boring old house.
Sure.
Yeah, so I get into the door, feet, boots creaking on the wooden floorboards as I walk into the room and pry open the floorboard and pull out the dusted book, blowing off the dust and the cobwebs, wiping them away, and opening the page to the same picture as before of the weird winged goat-headed creature.
Yeah. And flipping through the books, the symbols all the same, very difficult to decipher. But you flip your way through the book, I guess with Read Magic up, as you find your way towards more spells, trying to figure out what takes your fancy.
Cast Read Magic. I've got 2 castings. I'm level 3, so each casting should allow me to read 3 pages. Typically, spells, depending on their level, take somewhere between like 1 and 5 pages, but like low level spells are probably 1 or 2 pages. So I've got 2 castings, so 6 pages should be enough to attempt to learn 3 spells. You know how you want to do spell learning in Neil's campaigns? He does it. It takes 1 d2 days per spell level, so like a 3rd level spell would take 3 d2 days. If that's too long, I don't mind if you want to just,
I
read
think,
it and it's done.
So for 5e, I know it's 2 hours per spell level. So we could probably find a place in between, but 2 hours per spell level seems about right. So if you're learning a 2nd level spell, it's going to take like 4 hours of study.
Okay, so can I get... Let's see, how long have I been awake? What time is it now? It's maybe like 8 o'clock, something like that?
Yeah, it's probably around like 8 o'clock.
I got up at 10 a.m.
Coming up, yeah.
So level 2 spells, I could probably do like 2.
Yeah, you could stay up to like 4 in the morning.
Right, so I'll try and learn 2. You're pretty much okay with me taking whatever spells I wanted out of the core books, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the first spell I will try and learn is called Choke.
Okay.
So I'll just read to you what it does. It lasts for a round per level. And basically, by means of choke, the caster causes a pair of ghostly hands to appear around the throat of a victim. Victim must be human, demi-human, or humanoid, and within 30 yards. The hands will choke and strangle a victim for the duration of the spell. Each round, they take d4 damage. If they pass their save, they only take half.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll attempt to learn that. My chance to learn spells as an 18 int wizard is 85%, so let's hope that I don't fuck this up in this campaign
so
as well.
D100 less than 85 or D100 over 15? How do you want to do it?
Less than 85.
Less than 85? All right, good luck.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. You're a smart
Perfect.
guy. And besides, the book speaks to you. It wants you to learn.
Yes, it does.
Knowledge floods into your mind.
All right, I'm writing down choke. Although, actually, since these are spells that I was granted at the start, technically, do I have to not roll to learn these?
I don't think you need to roll for them.
Okay, so I learn the next one I learn will be skeletal hands, which is an interesting one. So, by casting the spell, a wizard animates a pair of skeletal hands that levitate in midair and move as directed by the caster, who uses verbal commands and somatic gestures to guide them. They can perform simple grasping, lifting, and carrying activities. They cannot perform complex movements, such as picking locks. They can, however, open unlocked doors and chests or turn the pages of a spellbook. They can also make 2 clawing attacks per round.
That's interesting. That's like
D3 damage.
Mage hand.
Yeah, sort of. But they can attack, and it also says that they can, if they use like normal weapons, they do like half damage because they're weak. But if they you give them a loaded crossbow, they can fire it. And
that's interesting. Can they reload, or is it just like a shot?
Yeah, I don't think they can reload, probably.
Oh yeah, an already loaded crossbow. That's pretty cool.
But it lasts 1 turn plus 5 rounds per level. So a turn is 10 rounds. So it lasts, right now it will last 25 minutes. A round is a minute in 2e. But the material components are a complete set of skeletal hands of any human, demi-human, or humanoid. So need to find some of them. And I guess after that it's late. I'll go to bed, and in the morning I will cast my last read magic and learn the 3rd spell, which is Living Link, which I can read to you or send you a link as well, actually.
Yeah, that's fine. If it's in Purple Worm, I can grab it.
But it basically lets you take over the senses of somebody in range, so you can share someone's vision without them knowing. So, you know, say like you were spying on a crowd, you could maybe like listen into the crowd by like locking onto someone's hearing, or see through a door by locking onto someone behind the door and sharing their vision.
Yeah, sure. You want to take a 5-minute break, and then we will come back?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Run to the bathroom, get another glass of water.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, sure.
Here we are. Probably go for like another hour. Is that all right?
Yep. Yeah, I figured I'd wrap up around 8 my time.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So it's the next morning. I learn the third spell,
So,
and
well, it's about 4 in the morning.
okay.
You're finishing up learning your second spell. Your magical ancient parchment in front of you sprawled as you're, frantically scribbling them into your own spell book. When you hear a scream of agony followed by a thud of a body hitting the ground.
All right. I will close the book, hastily open the floorboards, and pocket it in. Have I learnt the? Well, actually, I guess it doesn't matter because I don't have them memorized today anyway. And I will open the door, grab a torch, light it from my lantern, and head out into the night.
Well, you can kind of see, like through your back window. I guess you would have seen it as well because it rolled right next to you. You can see the man on watch lying, an arrow about the size of him, kind of stuck out of his chest on the ground, screaming at the wall.
Okay. Great. So I will grab a torch, light it, run out, and does the cleric sleep at the temple?
She would probably be. She. I mean, I guess it can make sense that she sleeps at the temple. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I run to the temple and
You can see people are sticking their heads out with lantern. There's a general call to arms as people are rushing.
All right, I leave that behind. I go into the temple. Mildred, where are you? And I'll run to the room or whatever where she sleeps and knock on the door.
She's generally awakened by the town guard, and you see her coming out of the room, just like a robe on. What's the matter? What's going on?
The guard on the wall has been attacked. He needs your healing. Come quickly. And I will now.
Attacked by who? By what?
I don't know. And I'll just run away from the temple and leave her to follow me and head towards the wall.
Yeah, sure. You can see torches kind of going up on the wall as people are trying to make sense of what's out there. Gates are being barred instead of closed.
Okay, yeah, I'll climb onto the wall and try and get a lookout.
Yeah, sure. As you run up, she makes her way down south to the guy. Give me a perception, just wisdom check then, I guess. Your character's just like a human, right?
Yeah.
I mean, looking out into the darkness, there's a bit of moonlight. But scanning, you don't see much of anything. The wind kind of blows through the kind of last standing stalks, but you see nothing.
All right, I will head to the body of the fallen man and get down on my knees and try and comfort him while we wait for the cleric to get here.
Well, so she ran from over here down, and you're here, let me draw. So he died right here outside, you fell off the wall right here by your window.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
right? And so here, then. Okay, he fell off the wall.
Yeah. So he got hit by the arrow, and the force of it knocked him off the wall entirely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So once I get to the wall and realize that I can't see anything, I'll head back down and go to his body and comfort him while the cleric gets over here. You can see
the cleric closing his eyelids.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Poisoned
arrow.
Poisoned.
Yeah. Let me put a picture of the arrow tip in the chat. So this arrowhead is probably 2 or 3 times the size of something that you would normally shoot. The arrow itself is a little bit long, but the arrowhead is just massively oversized. You can see even with all the blood and everything, there's very clearly some goop residue still on it.
Yeah. Does this arrow look like the similar arrows I've seen the bugbears use before?
This does not look like bugbear arrows. They tend to be pretty primitive, made out of stone. Some of the iron ones that they took from you guys, but
okay. So I guess once I realize that the guy is dead, I will get back on the wall, and I assume now there's a number of guards on the walls, are there?
Yeah, there's half a dozen men up on the walls. There's two or three by each gate, just awaiting whatever it is. The ones on the walls kind of hide themselves behind like the slits or like the whatever they're called, the parapets.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I mean, I guess I will stand guard with the men, but unless anything comes to the town, I think we're just gonna stay defensive.
Yeah, sure.
And I will
How
try
long do
and.
you want to stand
Well,
watch?
it's been a long night. I guess I'll wait another hour, and if nothing happens in the hour, I'll reluctantly head back to my house to sleep, hoping that there's enough men left to organize a defense. So, if anything were to happen, and raise the alarm.
Sure, yeah. An hour goes by. Some of the men head off the wall, but the town is going to be on full alert for the night.
Yeah, I'm so tired at this point that I think I probably just collapse to sleep once I get
Yeah,
back to my
you
house.
collapse in. All right. How does exhaustion work for staying up the night versus like taking that extra hours of rest? So in like 5e, if you wanted to skip like a night of rest, if you wanted to get up at like 8 or something, you would make like a Constitution save. Is there like an equivalent for that here, or do you have to get like the 8 hours of rest, or do you take like exhaustion? How does that exactly
I
count?
don't know. We usually play that most people can probably skip a night's rest and more or
Yeah.
less be okay. But anything more
Okay.
than that, something like that, yeah, like make con checks and if you
Yeah.
fail it. But
So.
it's up to you if you want to do it after one night.
Oh
That's
no,
fine
no.
as well.
It's like I'm just curious how that works. So it's up to you if you want to try to like rest and be up first thing in the morning, or if you're just gonna sleep until noon
No, I'll
to
try
kind of
and
get
get up
the rest
pretty
of the
early. I
night.
think, well, a wizard needs to get 8 hours sleep to be able to learn spells, which I do need to do. So actually, I suppose I'll sleep in.
All right. So you're gonna sleep until the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You wake up around 1.
Okay, and then I get to memorizing spells from my spell book.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll learn. I guess I can't learn the third spell yet, so I'll make my spell list from everything apart from Living Link.
Sure.
I'm thinking that we should maybe hasten the plan and go out today instead. So let me just work out what I'm going to learn here. Okay, I'm going to learn 2 magic missiles, 1 color spray, and for level 2, get 1 choke, and I guess 1 skeletal hands as well. Not that I can cast that yet, but maybe there I can. Alright, I learn my spells. This takes me 20, 40, an hour. It's probably like 1 p.m.
Okay.
by the time that I can get my spells learnt. And then I will finish learning the Living Link. So it's probably like 3 o'clock by the time I leave the house.
Yeah, it's like way late in the afternoon. The day's mostly gone by. You get a few looks of like, what were you doing? But not too much.
Yeah, I ignore the looks, and
Yeah.
I'll head into the center of town and look to see if anything else has happened over the night.
It appears nothing has happened. There's a few guard missing. Went out in a patrol of 6
No.
to see if they could find what happened. They have not been back today, or they've not been back yet, but they're making a pretty wide sweep to try to figure out what's going on. You're kind of told that they're going to start over by the Albrecht farm, um, where the screaming
The
was kind of heard
screams, yeah.
and the bones found. Yeah.
Do I, based on the descriptions that I've heard, do I think I could make it to the location that
Oh yeah,
the guy was
it's
telling
like
me about?
Albrechts are like maybe an hour out, but that's where they would have started in the morning.
Yeah, but I think I want to
You
go and check the blood and gore from the attack that Bertrand was telling me about, or that
Yep.
Bertrand had seen. So I
Yep.
think if I see Vince, I'll check in with him. But if I don't immediately see him, I think I will just head out into the farms.
Sure, yeah. As you're headed out, one of the guards at the gate says, "You talked with Mildred, right? Or she told us to grab you before you left."
Yes, I spoke with her. About what specifically?
Uh, well, I mean, obviously the death of Harold lies heavily in our hearts, but she had something she wanted to talk with you about.
Okay, well, I was about to head out to the farms to see if I could catch up with the patrol, but thank you for your words.
You're about 6 hours late for that. He chuckles. Probably will be coming in the west gate in the next hour or two.
Okay, perhaps I'll wait. I shall go and speak with Mildred. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
All right, I head to the temple and to Mildred's the cleric, right?
Yeah, she's the cleric.
Yeah. I head to the temple to look for Mildred, and I will walk in. Sorry, do you want to give a description or something?
Yeah, you can see her. She's got a set of very nice looking alchemical tools out. There's a little bit of smoke and powder coming off. A little fire goes as she seems to be boiling some kind of clear substance. She says, "Just the man I was looking to see. I know you're better trained in this than me, but I figured I'd give it my hand the best I could."
Yes, you did well. Are you analyzing the poison?
Yes. Be careful, though. I got a little bit on my finger when I was putting it in the jar. It burned for 2 hours.
Unbelievable. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Not in my life.
I'll
Whatever it was, I wouldn't want to be affected by that.
I'll take a look at it and like sniff it. Have I got like a little instrument that I can get a bit on? And, like,
yeah. She's got like a whole alchemy kit.
Yeah, so I will try and do my alchemy skills on this to identify it.
Sure.
Does that work? Yeah. Do you want me to roll an alchemy check?
Yeah, roll an alchemy check. Let's see what you can kind of get.
Right. So it's 15, 25.
That's pretty good. Let me see what you would know about this. Yeah, so spending some time with it, this is very much a contact poison, right? But it seems to be whatever formulation it is, it doesn't really seem to dry out over the weapons or on like the weapon, which is really strange. Most poisons that like you put it on and they'll dry out within a minute or two of like applying, right?
Yeah.
And it's like weird that one, that it's like still on it after it's like went through a man, and two, that it seemed to be like potent enough to like cause her to scream. Looking at the poison itself, without being able to really experiment it with on anything, your alchemy tools kind of tell you that it doesn't seem to be so much as to like kill people, but more so to just like inflict mental pain, right? It'll burn, it'll hurt, it'll probably paralyze somebody, but it's not going to like it'll incapacitate them, but it won't like actually like kill them from poison, right?
Yeah. So it looks like Harold died from the fall or the arrow more than he did from the poison.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I get a feeling like I can work out what this is made from? Is it the venom of some creature, or is it?
Well, that's the curious part, right? Yeah, you go through your knowledge of like the local like poisonous like flora and fauna, but nothing really like gets to it, right? You can think of like nettles that like sting you, but this is like that ramped up beyond whatever possibly you could extract out of there, right?
Yeah. Okay.
For certain, it's not local. That you're sure of.
It's definitely not local. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've never seen anything that could even like remotely begin to be that powerful.
And do I have I heard of the bugbears using poison before?
No, they're not. They don't tend to be poisoners. They're not that intelligent. They like brute force and strength. Poison's a weapon for cowards.
Okay, so after analysing for a bit, if Mildred's still there, I'll say, "This is awfully curious, Mildred. I've not seen. First of all, the thing itself, it acts strangely. It doesn't seem to dry out in the open air. And secondly, this doesn't seem like it's been created from anything that grows or lives in the surrounding area."
That's curious indeed. I mean, I know I've heard of poisons. I've had a little bit of training back in cleric school, but it's been so long. Do you think there's a poisoner among the town? I mean, that doesn't make any sense, though.
Oh, I can't imagine that somebody from the town would have done this. It's probably some awful monster that lives out in the plains.
Jeez.
I was hoping to head out to... Go ahead.
There's the equivalent of like lesser restoration, right?
Yes, but
In this.
it's more of a high-level spell, I think.
Okay, cool. She kind of frowns and says, I'm not sure if I have enough magics to counteract something this strong.
We should probably do our best to avoid it.
Well,
It's a worrying development, Mildred.
worrying indeed.
Perhaps we should keep this information between ourselves and Vince and the other guards, and maybe keep it away from the peasantry.
That would be for the best. I can prepare a slow poison, but if what you said is true, I'm not sure that's going to help at all.
Well, curiously, this poison, maybe it paralyzes, causes a great deal of pain, but I'm not sure that it would kill. So, your magics may soothe the suffering, but I don't believe they would save a life.
Interesting. Well, thank you. As always, your insights are always welcome here, and may Joaquin bless your travels.
Thank you, Mildred. Remember, we're in this together, all of us. You and I perhaps bear the brunt of the responsibility for the town, but we all have to stick together here or we'll be lost for sure.
Indeed.
Okay, I'll, hand on the shoulder and then turn and leave the temple.
Yeah, sure. As you kind of are on the way out, you can kind of see some of the old faded like writing on the walls. Worship me, and you shall know wealth. To guard your funds is to venerate Joaquin, and to share them well seeds of your future success. Call on me in trade, and I will be there. The bold find gold, the careful keep it, and the timid yield it up.
Right, I make a note. I tut because we've not had any trade for almost 2 years now, and I'll leave the temple and head to the west gate, hoping to spot the returning patrol. Yeah,
sure. About an hour down the road, you can see like a little bit of the dust cloud as 6 men make their way back.
All right, I will leave the town and head to meet them on the road.
Yeah, sure. So you meet the first sergeant. Lago seems to be leading the patrol. Tired, a little bit dirty, mud on his, or I guess like mud and dust kind of like caking his armor. And says, you're awake then, Neolak.
Yeah, apologies.
Any news from town?
I look back over my shoulder. I did some analysis on the poison. Doesn't seem to be from around here. What did you find anyway? I'm sure you have more answers than I.
Yeah. Half a dozen goblins, their bones cracked and the marrow eaten. Wow. Game path of something. Pretty tall, but pretty nimble. Tracked that for an hour or two, but that was mostly unsuccessful. Went around, found a little, I don't know what to call it, a hole, I guess, or a few holes where they must have sat in ambush last night.
And there was more than one?
By my guess, 3, maybe.
How tall do you think?
Hard to tell.
On 2 legs?
2 legs, but claw footprints, scrabbles around when they were getting in and out. Why, you seen these?
When I was out over the last few days, I ran some creatures hunched over, relatively thin but tall, almost canine in nature. Looked a bit like a hyena. And this could be them?
You kind of like scratch it out in the dirt. He looks at it for a second. Says, perhaps. It makes sense, at least some of the tracks. Weirdest thing too, I've never seen anything devoured that clean. Bones cracked open. What kind of monsters do you think these are?
Hungry ones.
It seems like that.
I don't know.
Not strong enough to attack the village, though.
Well, they tried something. Do you think it was the goblins that attacked Harold, or these creatures?
Goblins with an arrow that big?
Yeah, you're right. Likely.
I mean, a bugbear might have had the strength, but that arrow tip's nothing like I've ever seen.
It was poisoned. I don't think bugbears would make use of poisons.
Unless Gothmog's got something new up his sleeve, but you could just march into the city at this point.
I don't know, have you noticed the last few times his minions have been here, they seem somewhat nervous.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've harassed our patrol a number of times. I mean, farmers get the worst of it, prowling around at night, peering in. No one likes it.
Well, no one likes it, of course, but unfortunately right now I'm not sure there's much we can do about it, but we could afford not to lose any more guards. We should be vigilant, and it was good that you carried out this patrol. I'm sorry that I wasn't around to join you.
It's fine. Besides, your skills are probably better off analyzing that poison. No way we could have figured that out without you. And besides, we're good at walking, hiking, trekking.
Yes, indeed. The best. Of these 6 men here, are any of them the men that were in the tavern the first night I returned?
Yeah, like 2 of them would have been, for sure. Yeah.
So I will ask those men if I can have a word in private, away from the rest of the group.
Yeah, sure. They'll walk up with you. The rest of them are going to make their way back to town. You're like maybe a quarter mile out at this point, so they figure you're safe enough.
Yeah.
Right here. Yeah.
The business we were talking about the other night, I was hoping to maybe wait a couple more days before heading out to meet, to gather Thrain, but given everything that's happened, maybe we should hasten our plans here.
I look around and say, I'm surprised you waited this long. I think we were expecting to head out maybe today.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it makes sense to stay because of the town. We don't know what's happening there, but I'm just worried about Thrain out there.
No, I agree. I'm planning to go now. So, Rage, how far is the walk to the ruins? Could I get there in
probably like a day or two travel?
A day or two travel, yeah. So maybe if we headed out now and then camped, could we get there the next day?
It's getting towards like dark, right? It's like 5 p.m. So you'd be you'd be walking at night.
Yeah, perhaps it's too late to travel out now. Well, I had spell research to carry out in the early hours, which is why I was way late. But I've done my work now.
Indeed, finally learned some new tricks, eh? Yeah, gives you like a sly jab with his words.
Yeah, I've had a breakthrough of sorts, but my research is done now. I'll be ready to leave first thing in the morning. If one or both of you would accompany me, I think I need at least one of you to help me carry his body.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll see if we can requisition a horse, perhaps.
That would be wise. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. You've been out all night, so you should rest, but keep your guard up. Don't get too drunk.
I'll do that indeed.
All right, I'll walk back to the town with them.
All right, you make your way back to town.
Yeah, and I guess the mood is quite somber after the Harvest Festival.
Yeah, and now with someone dying, like in town, the scream kind of like echoed throughout after the kind of lukewarm cheer from the festival.
Yeah. Is there a cemetery in town?
I think it would be like somewhere like just outside of town. Maybe like along the waters, somewhere like either on like the northwest or the northeast.
Not too far out of town?
Yeah, not too far. Like maybe a few hundred yards, like far enough away from town that people aren't thinking about it all the time, but close enough that they can visit their descendants should they choose, right?
Yeah. I consider going into the cemetery to dig up a body, but think better of it. And instead, I'll go to the tavern and I'll drink with people and I'll do my best to be affable around. I'll go to the different tables. I'll make small talk with people. Just do what I can to lighten the mood. But charisma is my lowest stat, so I don't think I have a great impact. But I'll do what I can.
As you're kind of like talking, you can kind of like overhear bits and pieces of like conversations and rumors of like, what's gonna happen. Like the festival. What was the mayor saying? I mean, we know the harvest was bad and we know the hunting's been poor, but do you think the famine's going to happen again? Oh no, that's not going to happen. Like, no way. It might be a little bit tough. We'll lose some of these pounds that we could afford, but it should be fine. The ships are in good shape anyways. You can always fish.
Okay, yeah, so I join in on these conversations and generally just try and be encouraging, but I will planning to head out at dawn, I will go and get an early night.
Yeah, sure. You head back probably like 7. Just stay there just a little bit to be friendly, but not enough to stick around.
Yeah. And that night, I guess so in second edition you don't like, so say my spells today, my second level spells are choke and skeletal hands. Now, let's say I want to replace skeletal hands with living link. I would need to cast skeletal hands. I can't just like wipe it from my memory, right? Like it has to be cast for it to be used. And since I don't have the components, I'm kind of stuck with that on my spell list until I can get the components to cast it, to remove it, to learn something else.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I have.
Well, I know you forget all your spells when you get like knocked unconscious, right?
Yeah, when you get knocked unconscious, you do. But if you just sleep and wake up, you've still got the spells memorized from yesterday.
I mean, you could always knock yourself unconscious. Tell the cleric that you screwed up your spells, knock yourself unconscious.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll leave it learned. What it means is that I don't have to learn spells in the morning. So once I get up at the crack of dawn, I get dressed. I don't have any armor to wear. My weapons are just a dagger. So I've got a dagger in my belt, and I head to the east gate of the town and hope that I'll meet Largo and maybe at least one other person there first thing in the morning.
Yeah, sure. So, who did you just want Lago to come? Did you want the other guy as well?
I don't know. I kind of leave it to Largo to make that decision. It's probably just him is fine.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get stats for him real quick. Okay. Yeah, that seems good.
Okay.
All right.
And
yeah, you meet Lago at the gate. His armor looks fresh and ready. He looks you up and down. He did manage to get a horse. You see him putting some rations in the pocket just in case, or I guess on the saddlebags. You bringing the basket with the cherry pie for Thrain?
No.
Or did you eat that yourself?
No, it's still in the pantry. I should probably eat it.
Still in the pantry.
Yeah. I guess I will also bring like a tarp and a rope to help drag his corpse.
Sure.
Or unless we're planning to put him on the horse, I suppose.
Yeah, you could probably put him on the horse.
Okay, so I'll just bring some rope then.
Yeah. Well, probably still want to put a tarp so his bloody body isn't being,
that's true,
paraded through town.
All right. Yeah. So with everything ready, can we both ride the horse or?
Oh, you're probably going to be
alternating.
Yeah, either alternating or you can ride and he can walk. Given that you're the wizard and he's the warrior.
But... Yeah. No, but we're going at walking pace anyway, so we should get a move on and head out along the road to the east. And I don't know exactly where we were before, but I imagine it's off-road somewhere.
If you guys, we don't have the world map on this one. I'm gonna have to pull that in. So like you guys are headed like southeast, I guess, like kind of towards the hills and kind of towards the middle of nowhere. I guess so each hex on the world map is going to be about a day's travel. I'm gonna go to the one that I sent you, right? So you guys would have been kind of like where the A is in the Bastion of Malta.
Yeah.
So kind of like in that hex is basically where you were, just kind of on the foothills of the, or I guess like right before like the foothills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're heading southeast.
Yeah.
Deeper into the hills. Okay.
Well, so you guys like in the town, so like kind of between the M and the A is that square. So like just before like the foothills is like where you guys are. So there's like a little bit, but it's not really like transitioning from plains to rolling hills at that point. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So I don't know. There's probably conversation between Largo and I is somewhat muted. We've not got a good task at hand, but I think what conversation we do have probably turns to the gnolls or to the creatures.
Yeah. So how did it happen?
We were there and we tracked these things back to this.
Apparently the password leaked. I'm gonna change that. Apparently.
Oh, sorry, my fault. Probably.
Unbelievable. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we tracked them back to this cave. It seemed we started searching. It was strange. There were odd things in there. The remains of what seemed like the bones of the children that went missing. But before we had a chance to properly investigate it, we were set upon by these creatures I described. Tall, thin, hunched over, carrying crude weapons. Canine features. 4 of them. Managed to kill 2 and drove the other 2 off, but not before Thrain took a mortal wound.
You hate to hear it. I mean, they must have been hell in combat if they were able to take him down.
Yeah, they could definitely fight. Sorry, I need the new password.
Yeah, let me send that to you.
I'm still getting used to not leaking all of my
yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, they could definitely fight. They were strong too.
But from what it sounds like and what we gathered, they seem pretty feral. They don't seem like the kidnapping type.
Yeah, you're right. I think they just happened upon us. I'm not sure that they were responsible for the children going missing or whatever was going on in that cave.
Oh, man. Just... First the children go missing. Then Thrain. Then Harold.
It's been a bad few days, but I know the town will be sad to hear of Thrain's passing, but the least we owe him, as much as we owe the town, a proper burial, and this is a just quest we're on here, Lago.
It is indeed one that I wish we didn't have to embark on.
Alright, I keep talking, and as we're... Okay, I don't know. I want to say something else to him, but I'll save it for camping that night, so I'll just make...
Yeah, sure. Roll me a D100. Let's see what happens out in the world as you guys are out and about. 74. Yeah, so as you guys are kind of out in the afternoon, you can kind of see like a bear kind of wandering around, kind of like rooting at some berries and things like that. It's maybe 100 yards away or so.
How big is this bear?
300-400 pounds, maybe. Like,
is that a small bear or a big bear?
I don't. It would just probably be about an average sized bear. Let me check. It'd probably be a large creature. Let me check what that is in terms of Tui bears.
I will. I'll nod towards the bear. Largo, you think there's a lot of food on that bear? You think we could kill it?
Maybe. I mean, brown bears are pretty tough, but I think we got the range advantage on it. I've got my bow.
All right, you ready?
He puts his or takes his shield off, hangs it on the horse, grabs the bow, and yeah. And
all right.
I guess we'll go ahead. I need to create 2 actors.
So
so we're gonna call this Lago, and then we're gonna call this Bear. So we're just gonna have to do this Theater of the Mind style because we don't have a map.
Yeah, no worries.
But what I can do is gonna drag out Lago here and the Bear, and we're gonna. So I'm adding all you guys to combat. So in the top right, there's like a fist. If you right click on that, it'll pop out your combat.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll, I guess this one will. You can like roll your initiative, but this is going to use 5e initiative.
Yeah, so it's D10 plus weapon speed.
Yeah, so I need to figure out what this is for the guys. So I see the number appearing, armor class, movement, THAC0, number of attacks, damage, attacks, special attacks. Where's the bear weapon speed?
Typically, a creature would just have 3 if they're using their natural weapons. Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess they have to go. So the speed on this.
But I think are we not getting a surprise round here?
Oh yeah, you are. So I'm just trying to like figure out how many rounds you're gonna have before it gets to you, right? Because you're gonna get the element of surprise on it, and then at a movement speed of 12, that's what 180 feet per round. Or am I calculating that wrong?
In just normal movements, I think it's 120. If it wants to charge, it can go 180.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So you're going to get 2 full rounds on it, and then It will be charging into you on round 3, essentially.
Okay, cool.
I think, right?
Yeah, so 2 free rounds. Well, I mean, Bo's get 2 shots, so he'll get 4 shots, and I'm going to cast Magic Missile twice.
Yeah, sure. So the hit points on this bear, sorry, I'm just learning this,
Yeah, no
is
worries.
going to be...
So how many hit die is it? 4 hit die?
It's 5 plus 5.
Okay, so it's 5d8 plus 5.
Alright, so...
Oh, and
Okay.
its initiative is linked to its size, so I think if it's large, it should have initiative 5, not 3.
Okay, yeah, it is a large bear.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to get 4 shots, so let me
Yeah, you want to do his shots first?
figure out where his stat block is. So he should have...
What level fighter is he?
he should be a 2nd level fighter.
So he's probably just rolling at +1.
Yeah. +1 plus strength, or +1 plus dex, or just d20 plus 1?
So he gets, as a level 2 fighter, he gets 1 from just his level, right? So your bonus from level is always 1 less than your fighter level. So he gets a +1 for that. If he's got high strength, he'd get a strength bonus only if...
Yeah, he's probably 15 strength.
So would that...
I think that's a +1.
Well,
I gotta find the table.
He has to have a specific bow that's like built for... You know, like the string is tighter. Yeah, so if he doesn't have that, he won't get that. But if he's got a dex bonus, he will get that as well.
Okay, yeah, and so he'll have +2. And so he's shooting against an AC of 6, so he needs
12.
a 12 to hit. Yep.
Yeah, so just roll a d20 plus 2 and you need a 14.
1, 2, 3. Oh, the first 3 arrows hit the mark, and each one of these arrows is d8 plus 1, I believe, for a longbow.
It's just d8. But the 18 that becomes a 20 would be a critical.
Okay, so he's got 48 then for damage.
Yeah.
18 damage. Oh, yeah. The 4 arrows sink into the bear. Damage, blood pouring down. The additional damage from your magic missiles brings it down about 40 yards away.
Good work, Logo. Nice shooting.
Thanks. Not always the best shot, but it seems luck is on our side.
Let's make camp and carve something for ourselves to eat, but we can't bring this with us. Perhaps we can stash it somewhere and get it on the way back.
Yeah, sure. Sure, we can looks around in the plains. Maybe we could like dig a hole or something. Leave it cooking. Get a decent fire going. Put the coals in and put it in. Bury it and come back.
Good idea. We'll have to gut it first, but yeah.
Of course, yeah. He pulls out like a knife. Is this like a survival check? I don't know if the equivalent of that is to see how much meat you can kind of get off the bear.
It's up to you, I think. Like, I would say that most people living in this timeline could gut an animal and prepare it for food. You might want to roll a survival check to see if they can like get the most out of it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Like, you're obviously going to be able to get it, but it's like, how much, like, if it kind of gets wasted because you have, like, crappy knives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, like, how lean the bear is, it'll be a combination, I guess, of luck and...
Well, I don't have survival, so if he does, then that will help. I've got anatomy, but I'm not sure that's really going to help me. It's probably human anatomy.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to help. So he will just go ahead and roll, and that is off wisdom or intelligence. I'm looking at the table right now. So
let's see if I can help you out with that.
Should be on chart 37. And that is it is intelligence. So he is just going to be +10. Average intelligence. It makes an average roll. He gets most of it. The bear was a little bit lean for this time of year, but plenty of fat on it still, as it's getting ready for winter.
Good.
You guys do a pretty good job. Does a good job getting the coals going, and you kind of wrap the bear back in its hide to keep it from burning against the coals, so not going to be able to bring back the pelt. But
yeah, that's fine.
It should keep the meat. Yep. From
spoiling.
You kind of Yeah, and you kind of like smother it back over with dirt. Not exactly the best job, but giving you enough shovels, but it's a few feet down. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we make camp for the night, and as we're maybe we cut like a couple of steaks off that we can like cook on a stove while the rest cooks in the pit.
Yeah, I mean, you cut the choicest, most tender part for yourself after a job well done.
Yeah. I guess once we're eating, I want to broach a subject of him and say, Largo, you should know the cave that we found, the remains of the children. There was some dark things going on in there. It's been playing on my mind, and we're here for a task, and that's to investigate these creatures and retrieve Thrain's body. Perhaps it's best if you don't venture too deep into the cave.
That makes a lot of sense, but I'm just curious as to why. Like, what'd you find in there?
Well, it seemed like something in there had been using them for some magic. I'm not sure. I didn't stick around to see. I'll take another look, but my mind is steel to this kind of thing, given all the training in anatomy and alchemy that I've done over the years. But it turned my stomach to look at it just the one time, and I don't relish the idea of seeing it again.
I don't relish that haunting my nightmares. I trust you, Neolock. You do the right thing for the town.
Of course, of course. Well, we should be there partway through tomorrow. I believe it's not too far from here. So steel yourself, those creatures. There could be more of them.
Sure. Give me a luck check for the night, and then this is probably a good place to end the session.
Yeah, I'm going to need him to keep watch, or
Sure.
we're going to have to take 12 hours because I need to sleep 8.
Yeah, he can take watch for the night.
Luck check, you just D20? Or
D100?
D100?
D100. Yep, you want to roll high. Okay. All right, I think that's a good place to end.
Perfect.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of combat, didn't quite get into initiative, but that's probably for the best. Don't want to be eaten by a bear.
Yeah, not yet.
Hope you enjoyed it.
I did. I had a lot of fun. I always enjoy. I've always liked playing one-on-one campaigns. I just feel like you get a lot done.
Yeah, you get a lot done. Sometimes it's like, what do I need to prepare? I guess coming into it, I've never run a one-on-one thing, so it's like a little bit when there's like not the whole party to like make decisions, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I think you had enough prepared. I think did a good job. It was really enjoyable. So yeah, thanks so much.
I gotta get these maps working. That's like the biggest thing is I gotta figure out what's going on that end. Like I just didn't have any issues with the tokens with the 5v1. Maybe the Golden Glory is just awful and we won't use that. I'll see if I can find another 2e, but
sure.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I know you probably want to use all the fancy stuff in it. I'm more than happy to just roll the dice as I've been doing and use my PDF character sheet. But if you are, I'm willing to.
I can show you some like pretty cool stuff that's in here, right? So let me actually just go here and because like when we have stuff like I don't know, when we cast our wizard's favorite friend, like why is this not rolling? Oh, maybe I have to add it onto, yeah, I have to add it onto a monster real quick. So when I have like, there we go. Like I can just like drop like a fireball and
nice.
it should, because this sword doesn't set up, I didn't turn the modules on, but like I have modules and it'll like do like the entire fire animation and everything else, and it's pretty cool. Let me see if I can, I have to turn the modules on for this, so we need all these.
Stop
it's gonna refresh real quick.
Okay.
And it's probably going to take a second to come in as these turn on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there we are.
Yeah, but now there should be like a giant fireball animation if I launch this again.
Oh, yeah. Okay, do it again. Whoa! Hey, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, so there's like all those effects. Like we can add like lights around your character. So like if you light a torch, You can like set the animation to be like a torch. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with like vision. So if I don't know, make this like ghostly light around your character, let me turn it to darkness. So I can like fade it from like day to night. I can add in like other effects, so there can be like crows or ghosts or clouds or leaves
Nice.
falling. So let me do this.
Oh,
So
also,
like there should be like
oh
ghostly
yeah,
like
I
light
see
around your
that.
dude. Yeah, so
Nice.
like there's all sorts of cool stuff that goes on. I can have like automatic traps when you're walking through a dungeon. It'll like roll a fireball trap against you or like
What
attacks
when you
like
step on a square?
yeah, and like when you go on like the stairs, it'll like teleport you to like the upper part. It's
Wow.
like pretty sick when I get it up and running.
Yeah, it
Um,
sounds cool. I look forward to the first dungeon.
yeah,
So I was playing just Baldur's Gate 2 soundtrack in the background here, but you should maybe take a look at tabletop
yeah,
audio.
I have, yeah, I have. I can pipe music in through here as well. That just didn't get set up. So on the top right on my screen, anyways, there's like a music tab,
Hmm.
and so I can put like playlists or like one per every scene.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's just yeah. I just need to get that. I have the Tombs of Scoria soundtrack. I talked to that guy
Oh
who
yeah.
made it. He said I could use that. And then if you have other music, like Baldur's Gate, we can pipe that through the game
Yeah, that's
instead of
better.
like you putting it on in the background. So
Cool, awesome. Well, yeah, thanks so much, dude. Oh, by the
yeah,
way,
no
should I
problem.
be? I think I might have asked you this once before. Should I be calling you Ragepope or
You can call me Ragepope or Ryan or Rage or
Ryan?
Pope or whatever
Sick.
nickname you
Okay.
want. I really
All right,
don't
cool.
care. So
Awesome. Well, I think that this Sunday I should be free if you want to play again then. Otherwise, we can look to play maybe Monday again next week.
yeah, sounds good. I'll try to actually have maps and stuff set up. I'm just really disappointed that the 2e world didn't work. I
Yeah,
guess
that's
not
a
a lot of
shame.
people play 2e online, and that's a little bit disappointing.
If you want to message me and see if something's working, because I guess you didn't know this wasn't working because I wasn't here to test
Yeah,
it. So
well,
if
yeah,
you,
never had that. Well, I mean, I can just pop it up in another browser window, right? And then I can see what you see because I can log in as you because I
I
see
see.
the
Okay.
password because like I said it and it's all in plain text. So I can just set that up and work it. But yeah. Oh,
Cool.
and then the other thing we can do is like so I can like create like light sources, which is like pretty awesome. So when you're going through the dungeon, you can see that like there's I don't know like torches and
On the
stuff like
walls and
that
stuff.
around.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I can like change the color. So like if there's like I don't know, like a yellow light or whatever. Like all the spells have their own like spell effects, and it's like pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for DMing. Always appreciate it.
No
And
problem. Take
I'll
care.
speak to you on Sunday, perhaps. So I'm sure I'll probably speak to you before that.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right,
All right,
man.
see you around.
Have a good one.
All right, take care.
See ya.